welcome into Around the Felt. We got the Week 13 predictions tonight, and tonight I am joined by two people. While last night was a very tough one for those of you who watched, talking to yourself, looking at a camera for 45 minutes is not fun, but tonight it'll be way more enjoyable. But I got DROCK and Caleb. What's up, fellas?
What's up, Reagan?
I'm chilling, bro. How are you?
Bro, I'm great. I'm in a great mood. Happy
Fired
to
up.
have a fun pod. Oh, I'm always fired up, man. I'm always in a good mood. I put on a happy face, I'm always ready to go. So
For the Felters, absolutely.
Thanksgiving week, gobble gobble. Come on now, can't be more happy.
Gotta
than
be
this.
grateful. Gotta be grateful.
Yup. And I know we're going to be bringing all you guys a nice little parlay. Garrett's putting the graphic together as we speak. So you'll have to check that out on social media. A nice little six-legger to, bring in the holiday spirit. We'll have wheel spins for all three games on Thanksgiving as well as the Black Friday game. So, it'll be action-packed with content. And I know this weekend we're going to get a couple punishments done. So a lot of different content will be coming out to you guys over the next couple weeks. And, crew necks, those are for sale as well. So if you're listening, maybe you haven't copped one yet, make sure you do so. It only helps us grow. So we appreciate that in that sense.
Yeah. I want to touch on the 6-leg parlay. Comment down below right now. You don't even know the legs yet, but comment down below who's going to cook the parlay.
Yeah. I forgot to tell. I think Garrett put in Packers money line for you, and he also put I changed mine to Tyreek 50 because I was like, it was way too juicy at first, and we still got plus 1,300. So it's a bunch of minus 200 legs.
He did Packers money line instead.
We did Packers money line for you. I know Dave's got I believe Montgomery touchdown. I took Tyreek 50 plus, which is minus 200 because I was like, it's 6 legs. Like, why get greedy?
Yeah, fair enough.
So I was like, I'm not going to go Tyreek. The only one that was being a tough guy was calling him Malik Neighbors, but it's hard to put the fandom aside. And if he was listening to this podcast right now, he'd probably hear the call up, but he's not, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, let's get into some of the news. We'll start with Dave's Giants here. Aziz Ojulari. Oh, probably butchered that name. Definitely.
Oh, you Aziz, pretty damn close.
Yeah, very close.
Ojulari was placed on the injured reserves. So that's a blow to that Giants defense, but didn't really matter. Another news for the Giants, Tommy DeVito is dealing with a forearm injury. He's not 100% to play on Thursday. And honestly, I think it's better if Drew Lock plays anyway, especially for options like Malik Neighbors. Some of you that maybe you're in a spot where you want to flex Slayton or Wan'Dale Robinson. So I think a gunslinger like that really helps out the offense more. Kind of similar to the effect of what we saw with Jameis Winston, where, Watson really wasn't moving the needle. And at least, Winston, while he'll have turnovers, he'll at least, push the ball downfield.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Giants, this is just the definition of a lost season at this point. Watching that last game, DROCK, I know you were there, man, but you probably tapped out in the first quarter. I mean, there's just Tommy DeVito. I think he was there just for ticket sales. Honestly, just get a little bump in ticket sales on that particular day. But they should be starting Drew Lock, man. He's the backup QB assigned to the roster. He has way more experience with the freaking team, man. Drew Lock needs to play if they're going to make any noise this upcoming week. Not that they need to make noise. They should be in tank mode. I don't know how you feel about it.
I think they're going to probably, with DeVito being hurt, I think we start Lock. Obviously, you have to. But I think if DeVito's health, relatively healthy, let's just put him in the game. I'm down to lose. It was a fucking terrible goddamn walk. It was a
fair enough.
Horrible game. And actually, I only went because the ticket prices were so low. I was literally sitting 14 rows in the end zone for $70 a ticket. It was crazy. So, but I'm still going to go to every single home game this year. I've been in more home games than both my season ticket holder friends. So it shows you what kind of a fan they are to the Giants. I'm trying to build up my credibility for being a Giants fan. So I'm going to go to every single game this year. So.
Dude, that is so fucking stupid. Why wouldn't you just put it on a parlay? That is the dumbest shit I've heard. Why would you want to go to the game?
Going to a game is all about the experience. Regardless, to see them, I'm watching Baker Mayfield coach. I don't know, dude. It's kind of fun watching the other team play sometimes. Beating your Giants up, I don't give a shit. And especially because I
watch Red Zone on the couch.
I'm also rooting for the Giants to lose, so I wasn't too upset with them losing. Just it was kind of painful to watch, but whatever.
Yeah.
Football is football, man. You do you.
Football is football. This is true. But yeah, that's really it for the news. I mean, if you want to get the questions up, there was one other thing. Shaquille Barrett is supposed to be coming out of retirement. So obviously he's been one of the more dominant pass rushers we've seen over the past couple of years. He was a very key factor for those Bucs teams with Brady's big sack guy. And Miami does have the rights to him. So it'll be interesting to see, if they are to add him or if they let him go. But I think it helps Miami getting him. I mean, obviously he's not going to be what he was, but a team like Miami trying to make that playoff push, adding a guy like Barrett, even if he can give you a couple sacks, is definitely worth it at this point.
Dive into the questions, brother man.
Yeah.
First question of the night is not Austin. We're going Ryan Perry at gmail.com.
Yo, yeah, that's my boy Ryan. Shout out Ryan.
Shout out Ryan. First question he's got for us tonight. Will the Lions get bounced in their first playoff game at home this year?
No. I don't think so. I think the Lions are, fingers crossed, because, the Lions are playing like America's team right now. Forget about the Cowboys. They're not America's team anymore. I think America needs to rally behind the Lions. They got very, very close last year. I think the Lions push all the way to the Super Bowl, personally.
Yeah, so obviously, this would be barring that they don't get the first round bye, and with that being the case, I guess it's possible. He was saying the first rounder, they're just their first home playoff game in general.
First playoff game.
Yeah, so they would probably be playing. If they get the first round bye, they're probably playing. Either Washington or Green Bay or Minnesota. And yeah, if you're playing Green Bay or Minnesota, it's your third time around. Anything is possible. Anything is possible at that point. Both teams will be very familiar with each other. So I think it really depends on the matchup, but I definitely think if they're to run in the Green Bay or Minnesota at home, they could lose just with how both teams are very familiar with each other. Because I think the Lions, are really kicking a lot of these teams in the mouths because they just haven't seen the physicality of the Lions before and that type of style. So a team that's more familiar and knows how to game plan, I think will have a good thing ready. And obviously it's been proven and even they beat the Texans, but I feel like you almost want to make Jared Goff uncomfortable coming from behind. Because if you can get him where he's not, using the play action against you all game, I feel like that's the best way to beat the Lions.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just very, very, very confident in this Lions team right now. And I guess I'm kind of developing a little bit of a fandom, honestly. One of my boys up in Michigan, we're always talking about the Lions. I don't know, man. I might be a little biased at this point, but I want to see him in the Super Bowl, and that's that.
Fair, brother.
All right, now we got a punishment idea for us, and I love this one. Unfortunately, it is their off season, but go to a WNBA game by yourself.
That's
Bro,
crazy.
that.
Good one, Ryan. Holy shit.
I love that. And those ticket prices are so cheap. So
that's so funny, dude. That would make a great video too. That would be some fantastic content.
Game 6, sitting 5 rows up, in Brooklyn was $250. So I can imagine just a regular season game on a Tuesday night being maybe $25. So
yeah, that would be very.
All right, now we're diving into our main man, Austin. First question he's got for us. Which player is going to have the biggest impact in week 12?
It is week 13, but I knew what he meant. Or no, it is week 13, yeah, Austin. So, it's all right though, buddy. We always appreciate you submitting the questions. Oh man. I want to say, I'm just waiting for Tyreek. I want to say it. No, it's good. I'm going Tyreek Hill. He's going to finally get back to, what he was. He's going to go for over 100 yards in this game. Probably catch a big bomb touchdown here. I could see him getting in twice. The Dolphins do need a win here. Well, I think they might not pull it out in the end run. I do think he's going to keep them in the game and keep it close in Green Bay. So expect a big game from Mr. Tyreek Hill.
I feel like this is a carbon copy of the last time I was on the predictions pod, but I'm going back to A-Chain for reasons that I'll explain when we talk about that matchup. I actually don't trust Tyreek in this one.
Oh.
And I think that if the Dolphins are gonna win this game. I think that it's gonna have to be majority on the ground. So I'm gonna go A-Chain.
I'll give everyone a little teaser of DROCK's pick in our Thanksgiving parlay, but I think David Montgomery gets 3+ touchdowns on this Thanksgiving. I don't know. You're going to see it at the first game of that slate. So I don't have a reason behind it. I'm just looking at the Bears and Lions matchup, and I'm like, I'm going to take that running back to score 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, it's David Montgomery.
Drock, don't tell me you have 3+ TDs for David Montgomery in the parlay, bro.
Imagine it's probably
Dude, that would be like plus 46,000 or something like that.
Bro, him alone to score 2 is only like 400. So I can imagine 3 is probably around like that.
Yeah, but you combine it with 5 other legs, and then you're really cooking.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to keep it to one touchdown score.
Yeah, fair enough. That seems like a certified Drock lock.
Yeah, he sucks this year. So, next question he's got for us: which teams need to win this week?
Yeah, man. I mean,
the Commanders.
Yeah, you go first. Why?
Yeah, the Commanders, because they're really starting to like skid now. And I was worried about this happening. Again, this is a team that I'm a fan of. This is a team that I want to see succeed. And they have a very winnable matchup here, I think, against the Titans. The Titans are getting hot at the wrong time for the Commanders. And I think the Commanders absolutely need to win this week to avoid dropping closer down towards that area that they don't want to be, that area where they could potentially fall out of the playoffs with a couple more losses. They have some tough division games coming up. So I say the Commanders absolutely need to beat the Titans this week.
I like that. I'm going to go with the 49ers, man. They're 5-6. You know, the division is still within grasp, but, you know, you're 2 games back of the wild card right now. You're a game back of the NFC West. So, you know, a loss here drops you to 5-7, and then it gets really dangerous. And I know they're playing Buffalo on the road, as 7-point underdogs in this matchup, but San Francisco needs it bad. You need Purdy to come back looking healthy. You need some of these weapons, you know, like Debo, Kittle, McCaffrey to all kind of gel together. And the defense, man, they just need to step up. And it's going to be a tough task because going into Buffalo, but not only that, you're getting the Bills off of a bye. But it's go time. It's go time for the Niners. You need to win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Candy and nuts. So.
Bars.
Yeah.
I'll add another one.
Yeah.
I would say the Dolphins. The Dolphins need to sustain their success, and I mean that means winning away on the road at the Packers. It's going to be a tall task for them, but if they want to keep pushing towards the playoffs, which they have been doing since Tua returned, they're going to need to keep winning, and they need to keep winning this week.
Dave, what do you got?
What did I talk about 2 weeks ago? I think it was I'm going to go with the Steelers. I think that they're a game or 2 back from the Ravens in the division. And I would say that they have a big ups. They would have a big, like, going into the second half of the season if they do beat the Ravens. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're up half a game right now in the division.
The Ravens are.
No, the Steelers are up half a game in the division.
Oh, shit. Okay. So it could go both ways, I guess, with both teams.
Yeah, but I mean, I still say they need a win here, man. I mean, you know, obviously, I think them getting a home playoff game is much more important than Baltimore, especially. I mean, I don't know, though, because their defense is travel. So, but yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I wouldn't say they have the firepower on paper that the Ravens do. So, yeah, that's a fine pick. It's a fine pick.
All right. Last question Aussie's got for us is which game should be the best to watch this week?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm looking forward to that Green Bay-Miami game on Thursday Night Football. I mean, I think really it's the only, like, good close game on the slate for the Thanksgiving and Black Friday games because, you know, Cowboys-Giants is obviously a close spread, but I'm not expecting that to be, you know, a lot of fireworks there. Where Green Bay and Miami, it could become a shootout. Both offenses are very high-powered. I mean, Obviously, the Packers defense is much improved and stuff, but I'm excited for what that game can become. But what did you guys do?
So I like that pick. Chilling on the couch, food coma, Packers, Dolphins on the TV. That sounds like a good time. However, I like Eagles Ravens to be a great game. Obviously, two powerhouse teams that both need to keep winning. There's so many teams here in week 13 that just need to win. And all these teams are going to be giving it their all, except maybe the Giants. I don't think they're going to be giving it their all. But I like Eagles and Ravens to be sneaky. Well, not even sneaky. Obviously, high scoring, kind of a slugfest. So I like that one.
Yeah, I think that Bills-Niners matchup is going to be a fun game to watch on Sunday night. And I also think that Thursday night matchup, too, is going to be a sick game when you're all cozy up on the couch with maybe 3 or 4 bottles of wine in you, maybe after like 4 or 5 turkey legs, because I know, Reagan loves his turkey legs, so he's going to really much enjoy that game. So,
yeah, man, I love stuffing turkeys, so I'm excited for it.
I love stuffing turkeys, too, so.
Oh, man, it's going to, it'll be nice. By the time I get home, I'm going down to my grandma's, so by the time I'll be home, it'll probably be right in time for that game, for the start. I'll lay down on my couch with a belly full of food and cash the wheel, and we'll cash the rest of the parlay, and I'll go to bed a very rich man. Or, with my luck and most of our luck, we'll probably go 5 or 6 on the parlay, and the touchdown score will be the second touchdown score of the game, because that's just how it goes.
Always how it goes.
Hey, well, if I cook the parlay, my apologies. I really hope it might be cooked before it gets to that point, but it's going to come down to me, I think, on that parlay.
Yeah, if you want to drop your address in the comments for the people too, in case they want to send you like a flaming bag of shit.
Yeah,
go right ahead.
No, I'm good on that. But thanks for the offer, Reagan.
Oh, that's great. All right, Caleb's our next guy on the question list.
Oh, he is?
Yes, he is.
Really?
Who's this guy?
Oh.
I love it, and
I'm pretty sure there's like this guy named Around the Bases podcast that just dropped a new episode, by the way, and I think he's on asking questions. So let's see what he has.
Yeah, let's see what he's got. Which MLB player do you think would make the best QB? I like this.
Yeah. I've actually been giving it some thought over the past 10 minutes. You can't really. I don't think you can go wrong with Aaron Judge, but you gotta think about some guys that have like a cannon of an arm.
Paul Skeens, 100%. I've seen that guy throw a football maybe 35 times.
Yeah,
it's 100% Paul Skeens.
Skeens,
and he's got the build for it too, and he probably is just as athletic as a Josh Allen. I'm 100% Paul Skeens.
Yeah, that's a great one actually. You could go like for baseball nerds, you could go like Ramon Laureano, who has a crazy arm in the outfield. That's basically like his only asset as a major league player. But yeah, Reagan, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Russell Wilson. I know he's a minor league player for the Yankees.
Tim Tebow, maybe.
Come on. That's crazy. You can't even make that shit up. Fuck. I don't know, man. Because a lot of these guys, I like the speedster type guys. Maybe give me some Bobby Witt. He's got the speed. He's got the arms at shortstop. Very athletic. Get me a guy that can get on the move. I'm not saying he'll be like a Lamar Jackson-esque, but similar to that kind of style. Quick guy, very shifty. How tall is Bobby Witt though? Before we get a little crazy, because
I think he's tall enough.
I like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, so that definitely is tall enough.
All right.
Yeah, Bobby Witt Jr. For those that need to know is, I don't know. Oh, that sucks. How tall are you, Bobby Witt?
He's definitely 6'2". He's definitely 6'2".
6'1". His father was 6'2". So yeah, that's quarterback height. So give me Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah. I'll toss one more in there. I would go Starling Marte. Not anymore, but when in his prime. That's a gigantic guy, huge arm, big guy. Definitely could break some tackles. And yeah, So let's move on to the next question.
Word. Next question around the bases
Word up.
got us is which MLB player would make the best pass rusher? Ooh, shit.
Oh, give me you want a big
big
first
kahuna.
baseman, just a big, if it was back, I don't know.
I'm gonna go Yordan Alvarez. He just looks like a pass rusher, low key.
What was that supposed to mean?
I actually love that. That's a great
Reagan,
call.
what do you mean? What is that supposed to mean? He's a big dude. What are you thinking?
He's a big,
I don't know.
aggressive dude. That's for sure.
Now that they have to be active is the real question.
Well, I mean, you could always, for the memes, you could say Daniel Vogelback, but that dude is so freaking slow. He'd be a better offensive tackle. You could go.
You could go Shohei. You could go Shohei. Just a big dude.
No, dude, come on. No, Shohei would break, I think. I didn't think about this one as much, but I mean, if Tyler O'Neill was like 3 inches taller, I think he would be a great one. That dude is freaking jacked, kind of a stocky build. I like Tyler O'Neill as a pass rusher.
Give me Bailey Ober. I mean, the dude's 6'9". he's one of the better pitchers in the league. I mean, he's shown some great flashes for the Twins. But with him being 6'9", 260, I mean, he's got that size. He's going to be a tough bastard to move. So, at the very least, I mean, he's good for field goal blocks. So, give me Bailey Ober.
Reagan Googled biggest MLB players.
I forgot. No, I mean, I knew he was 6'9". I didn't know how much he weighed. So he is 260. He's a big hooch.
I'm assuming. I'm actually surprised you didn't have a player already because I know you look at the questions before we hop in the podcast too. So that's a big doom.
That is a doom.
Look at him smile. Look at him smile.
Oh man, this is a silly, goofy podcast, boys.
It always is. It always is. Yeah.
It's better like this.
No, I agree.
Yes.
All right. That's all the questions we got tonight. So.
All right, Drock, you can clock out.
All right.
Little.
I will clock out, gentlemen.
You can stay. You can stay if you want.
No,
I'm just kidding, bro.
No, you're just fucking with you. You can stay.
I will clock out.
That's funny as shit. Caleb just said, "What's up, little bro?" But no, you can stay, bro. Honestly. All right, guys. So the first game of the slate, we got the Chicago Bears. They're traveling to take on the Lions. Line is set at 11.5 here. Hold on. I had the over under in front of me too. This is one where, the Lions are getting a lot of respect, but the Bears have obviously kind of come into their own over the past couple of weeks. Yes, thank you. 46.5 is the over under. I ended up taking the Bears to cover, but the Lions to win here. It's a division game, but I've really liked what I've seen from Caleb Williams the past 2 weeks. They have lost both games, but obviously losing on a blocked field goal to the Packers and then losing to Minnesota by a field goal in overtime. And those are 2 division games. And while the Lions are a whole nother level than those 2 teams, I just think that's a lot of points to give the Bears, especially with, the resurgence of Caleb Williams the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. The 2024-2025 Super Bowl champs Lions are going to mollywop the Bears. Lions cover, and I don't like that over. I mean, sorry. You were talking about the Packers. I'm an idiot. Sorry.
What? No, we're on the Lions Bears. I was just saying how they just played the Bears twice.
I don't know why I told you,
dude.
I don't know why I told
Caleb,
you.
Fucking tell this guy to clock out, bro. Like,
no. I was confused because I'm looking at my ESPN, but the over under is at 48.5, not 46.5. So I apologize to you.
Damn.
Because I saw that 48.5 was way too high for a 10-point spread. I'm gonna lean on the under there, but I think the Lions cover without a doubt, and the Bears barely put up a touchdown. So. Lions all the way. Montgomery 3+ touchdowns.
I'm in agreement with Reagan. I think this could be a closer game than some might think. I think the Bears cover, Lions win. The Bears, I think, are barely going to cover, though. No pun intended.
What the?
The Bears they've been playing close the past 2 weeks. I mean, Caleb Williams, we know he's inhibited by his coaches, right? And then he's just inconsistent, man. Like What did he throw for last week, Reagan? Did he go over 300 last week?
Yeah, last week he did. He actually did have a very good game last week. I know he's been, up and down this year, but ever since they made the offensive coordinator change, it's been very positive for him. I mean, he had 340 passing yards and 2 touchdowns last week, and he's really been using his legs. So I've been impressed for sure.
Yeah. Another reason why I think the Bears are going to cover is because, I mean, they've been playing teams really close. They've lost by a total of 4 points across the last 2 weeks to the Packers and the Vikings. Those are both pretty good teams. The Lions, in my opinion, are on a different level compared to the Packers and the Vikings. However, I think Caleb Williams does enough here to keep the Bears close. I think this game's going to be competitive. The only thing that worries me here is the Lions have a little bit of a losing streak on Thanksgiving. They haven't won in 7 games. 7 games dating back to 2016. The Lions have not. However, I think this is a Lions team that's out to redefine narratives and break those type of silly streaks. So yeah, I think the Lions win, Bears cover.
All right.
Hey, dude, though.
Oh God, no, Dave's gonna have to edit that, bro.
I'm not. I'm definitely not editing this pod today. No shot.
All right. So the next game, we had to take a quick pee break, and my buddy just took a clear piss, so that's great to hear. But moving on to the next game of the Thursday slate, we got the New York Giants traveling to take on the Dallas Cowboys. The line is set at 4 points in favor of the Cowboys. Over under set at a whopping 37.5. And I will be taking the Giants to get the upset win on Thanksgiving. The big reason is, you know what? In a division matchup between two teams that are trash, I'll take the points. On top of that, the Giants have looked like dog shit as of recent, and so the Cowboys. And then the Cowboys finally figured it out last week in a division matchup where I think everyone and their mother will be on the Cowboys being like, "Ow, well, the Giants look like shit, and the Cowboys just figured it out." No, the Cowboys didn't figure it out. It's just a division game. They're always tight. And I'm really hoping DeVito doesn't play, because then I like to play even more with Drew Lock, because he comes from the school slanging it. So I'm all in on the Giants this week. So let's go get a dub, Big Blue, right?
Yeah, Giants money line. This is the game that all games for the season we should be losing. This is the game that we do win. Malik Neighbors scores. If you have Caesar Sportsbook, he's plus 280 right now, which is the highest it's been all year. Go figure. But obviously, like the rest of us users on DK and FanDuel, he's at plus 230. If I wasn't such a diehard Giant, I'd probably be taking CeeDee Lamb to score a touchdown as well. I don't know, 2 shitty teams going up against each other on Thanksgiving, and we have to watch it. So, like I said before, a game we shouldn't probably be winning, but we will probably win it. So I'm going to take the Giants to win and obviously cover as well.
Now, who is that in reference to?
Me and the rest of the Giants organization.
So, I mean, I made this prediction before I realized that DeVito might not be playing, because I was going to slam the Cowboys like the general public. However, if Drew Lock does play, that makes me a little bit more nervous, but I'm just going to stick to my guns and go with the Cowboys. The Giants, they only created 268 yards of total offense last week against the Bucs, who are like a mid team, very middle of the pack team. I mean, honestly, I hope Dable runs DeVito out there if he can play, because they need to lose. The Giants need to lose, man. Like, this is the only way you're going to get your franchise back on track, slowly but surely. And I think Giants fans know that. And then you look at the Cowboys, like Cooper Rush actually does have the ability to move the ball. He's been putting up some respectable passing yards the past few weeks. And the Cowboys, they play pretty good on Thanksgiving, but usually they play good in the regular season. And they're not playing good this regular season. But I'm going Cowboys to cover and win for no particular reason.
No, I mean, that's a good pick. That's got a 50-50 shot for sure. But moving on, we got the Miami Dolphins traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers here. Line is set at 3 points in favor of the Packers, over under 46.5. And the big storyline, 28 degrees for the weather. So it is going to be a cold one for those Miami Dolphins. I am leaning the Dolphins. I did take them on the spreadsheet. Now that Caleb took the Packers, I might have to switch because for mental reasons. But you know what? At least I have an insurance. So I'm going to stick with the Dolphins here just because I think they need the game that much more. And it's pretty evident that the offense has looked way better with Tua coming back. I mean, Jalen Waddle finally getting involved. Jonnu Smith, I mean, that's a guy I didn't even talk about, has had like a nice 3-game span. And it's like very sneakily become one of the best fantasy tight ends this year. I think Hill continues to, hopefully get back to what we've seen with him in his top wide receiver level form. And obviously you talked about A-Chain before, like he's due for a big game as well. So I just think it's going to be a lot for the Packers to handle here. I think Miami's defense is going to have to be a key part here. And Jordan Love, if he keeps just, slanging it and really putting it in harm's way, those turnovers could be very costly against a very high-powered Miami offense. So I lean Dolphins here.
Yeah. I mean, this game's going to be a good one. I'm very much looking forward to this game. Honestly, like if this were to be played on a neutral site, I think this game is completely 50-50. However, I think that the cold weather is going to tip the favor towards the Packers. All these guys are used to playing in cold weather. And then, Miami's quarterback is from Hawaii. Like this guy's finger is going to be freezing off. Hawaiian fingers, they're going to be tingling. I can tell you that much. And this is going to greatly impact his ability to slang that thing. He's never been able to fully adapt to the cold. In fact, Tua is 0-7 in his last 7 games played under 32 degrees. And this game is going to be 28, I believe you said.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned, I could see A-Chain having a great game due to the fact that maybe McDaniels is going to scheme up some plays to maximize the run game here, knowing that Tua might not be firing on all cylinders. I mean, you can't really adapt to the cold, man. Just like I've been down here in Florida for the past 3 years, and I still can't adapt to the heat during the summer. Like you walk outside and you're drenched in sweat in 38 seconds. Like it's going to take longer than that. And then the fact that he plays in Miami after growing up in Hawaii, it's not going to help either. So I think just because Tua doesn't play well in the cold, that the Packers edge this one out. They cover and win.
Yeah, it's a crazy stat. I didn't know that. 0-7. That's some shit you see on like bear betting, like after like the Packers win, and they don't tell us like beforehand. I don't know. This game screams teaser for me. I think it keeps it close. I would tease the Dolphins and get it to 10.5, and then I would tease the under just because it's cold and these boys, I don't know. Maybe they ain't slanging that thing because it's not warm for them out there. So that's my input. But and in addition to that, I think the Dolphins cover 3.5. I don't have an explanation behind it. I just always like taking that 3.5 because it's going to be a field goal to cover it. I do think the Packers win. I just think that they lose. The Dolphins lose by a field goal.
Fair. All right, guys, let's move on here. The Raiders traveling to take on Kansas City on Black Friday. Line is 13.5 points, so a heavy favorites here. Over under set at 42.5. So Vegas really not expecting the Raiders to do anything. Gardner Minshew, obviously, I talked about it yesterday. He's on the IR, out for the season with the broken collarbone. So it does seem like Desmond Ridder will be getting the call to start at quarterback. So, but with, how bad the Chiefs just played against the Panthers, I that's a lot of points for me. So I'm going to take the Raiders to cover here, Chiefs to win. I mean, it's just, the story of the Chiefs season. They play teams ugly. They always play to their competition, whether it's good competition, whether it's bad competition. It seems like the Chiefs always play these games tight, and it's a close game going into the fourth, and that's a lot of points. Even with the 13.5, I mean, I could see the Raiders getting the backdoor cover, even if they're down 20 points going into the fourth.
Yeah, I agree. I'm taking the Raiders to cover and the Chiefs to win. I don't trust the Chiefs at all at this point, especially after the performance they put up against the Panthers last week. I was actually watching that game at work, and I was rooting for the Panthers so hard, dude. Like it was just a heartbreaker for the Panthers. But when it comes down to it, the Chiefs are 4-6-1 against the spread. despite a 10-1 record, which just tells the story for me right there. And I believe O'Connell is going to be playing, correct, Reagan?
Is he? I thought it was Ritter. I didn't.
I swear I read on NFL.com. If you could confirm that for me real
I
quick, that
will.
would be
Yeah, I
great.
could have swore it was O'Connell. Or I could have swore it was Ritter. Maybe O'Connell. He might
Ritter.
be. Oh, you know what? He is expected to be back. O'Onnell.
So with
To
O'Connell
start
playing,
Friday.
I think this cover is a lock for the Raiders, dude. Are you kidding me? You're gonna give the Chiefs 13 points, almost 2 touchdowns against this Raiders team that has a decent defense after all. No way. This Chiefs team gets no respect from me, especially after the Panthers took them all the way down to a game-winning field goal right at the end. No way. In my opinion, the Chiefs aren't valid, man. Like, the Chiefs aren't going to go far in the playoffs. They're not getting a three-peat, and the Raiders are going to at least cover here. Yeah. So that's all I really have.
And let's not forget what happened on Christmas last year. Like, the Raiders went into Arrowhead, ran the ball down the Chiefs' throat, and got a win as big underdogs as well with Aiden O'Connell at the helm. So you never know. Dave, where do you fall on this?
I'm with you boys on this one. 12.5 points is a lot, bro. It's a lot. And Chiefs haven't been up to par of where they were the last 2 seasons, like we've seen this season. I think that you should be teasing this game as well. I would be taking the Raiders if you can buy it up to 10. If you can buy it up to 7.5, or if you can get it in a 3-point teaser, but that's too complicated for this audience. But we're gonna go 2-point teaser. We're gonna get it up to 19.5, and then we're also gonna take the over in this game, just considering that the Raiders can probably put up some points this game. And I think the Chiefs will be able to respond, but it'll keep it close. And yeah. I have a sneaky little pick I'd like to throw in there. Trey Tucker to score a touchdown, maybe to score 2 touchdowns. And also him to score first. I don't know. I'm seeing that a lot online recently. So I'm going to ride with the squad. Him to score 2+ touchdowns is plus 7,000. So if you throw 100 on it, it's going to be 7,000. And I'm thinking about it. So yeah, that's what I got for the game. But I'm with you boys on this one.
Glad to have you, DROCK.
Yeah, I am too. Thank you for joining us. All right, next up, we got the Chargers traveling to take on the Falcons. Line at plus 1.5, actually. So the Chargers are favored in this matchup. I found that one to be very interesting because I do think these teams are evenly matched here. But I ended up going with Atlanta here. And also the over-under is set at 47.5. But I went Atlanta here. They're coming off the bye while the Chargers are coming off the short week. Very deflating a loss to the Ravens on Monday Night Football, where Baby Bro obviously lost to Big Bro for the 3rd time and never actually beaten him. He's now 0-3 against his big brother. So I thought that was very interesting as well. But I just think the Falcons need to get it done here, man. This division race, which I thought they kind of really controlled, has now become very tight over the past couple of weeks. With, you do have the head-to-head against the Bucs, but they're now a game out. Saints 2 games out, and the Panthers 3 games out. So they need a win. They were definitely a team that, we didn't talk about before, but really needs a win this week.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go the inverse. I think that the Chargers cover and win here. Last podcast we did, I had a bad feeling about the Falcons when they were up against the Broncos. And if you recall, the Broncos absolutely beat the door down on the Falcons, 38-6, if I recall.
You are correct.
Again, this is another team that I don't trust in the Falcons. And, Reagan, you said that was a deflating loss. Yeah, it's a short week, but I actually don't think that is that much of a deflating loss. It kind of puts things in perspective for the Chargers. They're right on the outside looking in on being a great team. I would qualify the Ravens as a great team, right? I think you would as well. And I think the Chargers are almost there. They're just 3 points behind being a great team. And that was a great game. That was a close game. And I think the Chargers are better on all fronts here. One thing I'm worried about is that J.K. Dobbins is listed as doubtful. However, Gus Edwards on Action Network was listed as the number 1 RB anyway.
Wow.
So
taken from Dave's Bible over there.
Yes, sir. And neither of these teams, they can really they can't really afford to get complacent at this point in this season. Both of these teams need the win, but the Chargers have covered in 4 of their last 5, and they'll do it here again with a tiny little spread, and they're also going to win.
I'm with Caleb on this one. Sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Let's roll. Let's go Chargers.
Bet.
Are you kidding me? That's all you have to offer?
Dude, when you said that, I mean, also they
Are you fucking kidding me?
They said they're 7-1 as favorites. I'm gonna continue to ride it, and I'm pretty sure they got a relatively decent record on the road. I mean, they're over 500 on the road, and I think the Falcons are on a downcline. So I'm gonna go Chargers with Caleb. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, for those of you who don't know, me and Dave went to high school together. Dave was always the kid to not help out on the class project and then write his name on at the end, as you saw there. He's like, yeah, I'm with Caleb on this one. It sounds like he knows what he's talking about. But we both came up with the same answer and had the same stuff. I will give him some credit though. Caleb was throwing out Action Network, so obviously he's taken from Dave's source.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
I have
how
to give
money is
Drock
Action
full
Network,
credit for
bro?
that.
Action
Yeah.
Network is phenomenal, bro.
Yeah, it lays out all the numbers right in front of me. It's
Hey,
pretty
no
dope.
free plugs. No free plugs. Sponsorship packages cost
my
money. No
bad,
free
my
plugs.
bad.
All right, fellas. Jokes aside, enough dilly-dallying. Let's move on. The Pittsburgh Steelers are traveling to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals at home in this one, like I said, are 3-point favorites. The over-under in this matchup, I just had it. Let's get it back up, is set at 46.5. Thank you. And yeah, I'm going I'm going Steelers here. Whenever it's the NFC North or AFC North, it's going to be a close game. I like Pittsburgh's defense a lot. Bengals defense, trash. And at the end of the day, anytime you're giving me plus points, and especially with how well defenses travel in away games, I think Pittsburgh's going to be fired up, take care of business, and really stop this high-powered Bengals offense where, on the inverse, the Bengals, just terrible defense, can't stop a nosebleed. So Russ will cook.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm relatively flabbergasted once again that this Steelers team is getting plus points. That did burn me last time when they played the Browns. Respect to Reagan on that pick.
Oh yeah, you weren't here. Dave's gonna be fucking eating all them tacos.
But I mean, I can't see it happening for the Bengals here. Like, I would compare Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to like the Mike Trout and Ohtani when they were on the Angels. Like, it's really just unfortunate for them because, they're world-class players. They really deserve better, but they're just surrounded by a lot of mediocrity, and that's kind of bit them in the ass this season. I think the Bengals have a bright future. However, not this week against the Steelers. Look for Pickens to go 100. I think Russ is going to cook this Bengals secondary, and I like Pickens to go over 100 yards. So keep your lookout for that one. I also like the over 46.5, as I think the Steelers will overrun the Bengals defense. They're due for a little bit of an offensive explosion. And then as an inverse result, I believe that the Bengals are going to have to be firing on all cylinders on offense to keep pace with the Steelers. So that's the reason that I like the over there. Now, DROCK, give me your expert analysis.
Yeah, guys, just put my name in the school project because I'm riding with both you boys. I know. All right, listen, I'm gonna say Caleb, phenomenal by saying that. I don't know how the hell that you're giving the Steelers these points, especially for this game and this matchup. The Steelers are 4-0 as underdogs, so that tells you something. And they're also 4-2 away, and the Bengals are 1-4 at home. So the numbers tells you to lean Steelers here. I like how they're giving you 3 points. So if you're on as much of a favorite as that money line, maybe buy it up to 3.5, so that at least you can cover by a field goal. But the Steelers at plus money here is something that you need to take. So
I agree. Well done, DROCK.
Am I the only? You're not hearing that static?
No.
I don't know. All right, I hope it's just my headset then. Whatever.
Maybe it's the water from the toilet going down.
Bro. Yeah, I mean, for those of you maybe first-time listeners, we're a different type of podcast. So I pot on the toilet. I get my best thoughts and work done on the toilet. And, podcasts are won and lost in the bathroom. But yeah, no, my room's under some major construction. These guys don't know shit about construction. I mean, they probably don't even know what a callus is and stuff.
Yes, I do. My dad's a carpenter, buddy.
Oh, nice. Does
You
that,
didn't know
does
that?
No, I'm just saying that doesn't make you a carpenter.
But I redid the whole basement.
Daddy. No, I'm kidding. All right, I give you respect. I'm sorry. These toilet fumes are getting to me.
I'm gonna plug Jim Dean. He could probably be getting your bedroom done way faster than whatever the hell is going on there right now.
Wait, the breakfast sandwich guy?
No, Jimmy Dean at
Jimmy Dean, the breakfast sandwich guy.
I was just about to drop his address. I'm not gonna drop my dad's address, but you know where my dad lives. He's right up the road from you.
Drop it in the chat. We need chat.
Yeah, I'll drop my dad's address in the chat. No problem.
Awesome. That'd be sick. Yeah, if any of you, free crew neck for the first person to take a selfie with Jim Dean at his house. Oh my gosh, imagine that, dude. What do you think your dad
I hope
would
it
say if
happens.
some random kid
Somebody
came up and just took a selfie with him?
Somebody go get a selfie with my dad. I will condone that. That's fun.
Yeah, if that happens, I'll give you a crew neck for free.
Yeah.
If you get a selfie with Caleb's dad. Dave, you cool with that?
100%.
All right.
All right, we're in a goofy mood. So let's move on, fellas. Next up we got the Cardinals traveling to take on Minnesota. Minnesota 3.5-point favorites here. So this one's, a matchup between two teams that are, right now both in the playoff picture, both wild cards. And the over/under is 45.5 here. I ended up going with Minnesota here just because at a certain point you got to stop fading these guys. I mean, they can win with Darnold playing bad. They can win with Darnold playing good. It just seems like they find a way each week. I mean, they're a 9-2 football team. So I think it's time to give them their flowers, stop doubting them, and, view them in that top 5. I'd say at this point, top 5 football team in the league. They win every week. They get it done. That defense is very good, and, they just find ways. So I see them getting things done here. I think the blitz is going to be tough for Kyler to handle with that Brian Flores defense, and I wouldn't be shocked if they win by double digits.
Before I put my name on the school project, I'm riding with Reagan here.
Let's go.
No, dude, I'm done with the Cardinals after last week. That were my Mega Max unit play, so I have some hatred towards against them. But one thing I will say is that I love the under in this game. I can see here from my app that I'm not disclosing the name of, but the over/under for both teams, it's gone under in like the last 2, I believe, and at home the Vikings are 4-7 with that total being over/under. So I'm gonna go Vikings here, riding with Reagan. So now go ahead for it, Caleb. If you want to sign the school project here.
Yeah, sure. I'll slap my name on there, my John Hancock. But Sam Darnold, he's pretty much snapped out of it after what I saw from last week. We were doubting Sam Darnold. We're like, okay, is he reverting to Jets Sam Darnold? No, he's not. He completed 22 of 34 passes for 330 yards last week, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, which is the stat that I really like to see if I'm going to support the Vikings, which I am here. Jordan Addison also 162 yards receiving last week. So that's big because Jettis has been getting a lot of attention. Teams are making sure that they cover Jettis. So that opens the doors for guys like Addison to get it done. The Vikings offense is ranked 9th and their defense is ranked 5th. So yeah, I mean, that's the makings of a top 5 team, like Reagan said. The running game couldn't get going for the Cardinals last week. I believe Trey Benson led them in rushing with only 18 yards, which is not a recipe for a victory. I like the Vikings here, and they're going to win and cover.
Submit school project.
Done.
All right, guys, let's move on. We got the Colts traveling to take on the Patriots. Line is set at 3 points in favor of the Colts. Over under 42.5. I'm taking the Colts here. And that really comes down to the fact that, New England just seems defeated, especially on the defensive side of things. And the Colts, they're still in the thick of things. I looked foolish last week taking them straight up against the Lions. So that was me trying to get cute with it. But I do think this is a good Colts football team. And at the end of the day, I mean, the Lions were a very high-powered offense, and they held them to 24 points. It's just the offense really never got going. But I think this is a great matchup for Richardson. I think Taylor kind of bounces back here. And, I'd still not playing any of these pass catchers, but, I would start Richardson for fantasy with full confidence. So give me the Colts here to cover and win.
After you, Drock.
Yeah, man, I'm hopping on that fucking school project once again. I'm going with the Colts. What do you want me to do? Lie like you and say another pick just to get some traction?
No, that's
channel?
a great pick, Drock. That's
Thank
a great
you.
pick.
Well,
Thank
actually,
you.
last time you pissed me off, I did take the Titans money line. So
I
thank
know.
you for that.
When we pod together, you're always like, you know what? I'll lean the other team now. You know what? It's not a terrible strategy because I'm extremely cold this year.
Intentionally fade him. Yeah.
I am 2-0. I am 2-0 in changing picks based off of being pissed off. I hit the Browns straight up against the Ravens and the Titans straight up against the Texans. So I'm 2-0 on pissing me off with disrespecting that team locks.
Colts are my Megamax. Colts are my Megamax whale play of this week. No reasoning behind it. I don't give a shit. Patriots suck. Everything to do about them is terrible, 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 terrible. Colts.
All right, I'm switching my pick. This kid has been ice cold. That's everything I need to know. So everything I said about the Colts, I mean, look, their offense obviously struggled last week. Anthony Richardson had one good game against the Jets. The Jets suck. Jonathan Taylor's been bottled up the past 2 weeks. Christian Gonzalez is going to lock down Pittman. So then do you trust the likes of Alex Pierce, Adonai Mitchell, some of those guys to get it done? Where Drake May, I mean, he's showing a lot of flashes. I think they can get the run game going here. It's at home, so I'm taking the Patriots in this one, and the main reason is the guy that took, the Colts is on a big losing streak. I believe he's lost 2 Mega Max plays in a row. So I mean, if anything, yeah, I'm sorry. I just have to.
Great strat there.
Very, very interesting strategy. Can't say I can back that pick, Reagan. I'm going with the Colts. I'm going with DROCK. The Patriots, if you think back to a year ago, the Patriots imploded in a loss 10-6 to the Colts over in Munich. And turns out that game ended up like sealing the fate of Bill Belichick and Mac Jones. 12 players on this New England defense are questionable. So like even if half of them play, I still don't like that for them. And one of those guys is Christian Gonzalez as well, listed as questionable with a hip injury. So the Colts have lost 7 straight at Gillette Stadium. That ends this week. And I mean, yeah, this could be Anthony Richardson breakout game. Honestly, I could really see a very, very solid performance from Anthony Richardson. I think he gets enough done through the air, but I would love Anthony Richardson rushing yards over here. I really like that. Especially because Jonathan Taylor's getting bottled up. I think he rushed for 33 yards last week. Richardson, meanwhile, ran for over 60. So I love Richardson's over on the rushing yards in this game. And the Colts win and cover.
All right, let's move on. Got to talk about it. Seattle Seahawks will be traveling to take on the Jets. Jets are 2.5 point.
Seahawks money line. Jets are brutal. I can't believe they're only 2-point underdogs. My God.
And
yeah, great analysis.
And that's why I'm taking the Jets, man, because
yeah.
No, you know why?
Let's be our punishment of the week.
We didn't even think of one.
I don't
want to root for the Jets. That's the thing. I don't want them to win. I want them to lose. I want to tank for a quarterback, and that's why they're going to win because they're 2.5 point underdogs. Like, yeah, they won't get it done. Yeah, the Seahawks should roll here. They just rolled the Cardinals. They just rolled the 49ers. Everything's in favor of the Jets losing here, and that's why they're going to win. Just because now that we're out of the playoffs, now they're going to start clicking. It's like, oh, well, if they only click sooner, then they'll bring back Aaron next year because, look what they did down the stretch last year. It's just, it's just the perfect recipe for the Jets. Just show a little bit to give us some faith going into next year. It's going to happen.
Nah, fuck the Jets, man. They're not winning this game. The Jets scored their most points last game with 27, and they still couldn't fucking win a football game. 46 seconds remaining, we give up a touchdown. Like, again, I'm not even rooting for them to win, but at the same time, if they were to win, I'd be like, oh, okay, word. Like, that's dope. But they're not winning this game. The Seahawks, they're really not that much better of a team. But the Jets, They need to be in tank mode. I think the coaching staff knows that. I think Ulbrich has way too much on his plate here. The Jets really need to look back and examine that Robert Saleh firing. I know that you, Reagan, were really supportive of that early on. I don't know how your feelings have
I still
changed.
am, bro. Like it doesn't matter. He was not winning us games. It doesn't matter who they bring in. They're not winning games. The Jets are cursed. Bring in whoever you want. Maybe get Rex Ryan back. I mean,
Well,
at least he showed he
at least
could win.
Ulbrich wouldn't be doing double duties as defensive coordinator and freaking head coach. Like, at least there's that. But like, I can't believe Breece Hall has only scored 4 times this year. That's mind blowing to me. That's just a huge reflection of the ineptness of this coaching staff. Like, many people thought Breece Hall was going to be the top fantasy producer this year. Did they not? Like, he's so far from that. And this Jets team obviously is just so far from anything. Anything. Literally, dude, anything.
Look how depressed he is over there when he's sitting on his own toilet when the Jets suck so badly.
Yeah, and
that's embarrassing.
Rodgers took way too many freaking psychedelics, dude, in the offseason. And as a result, he's having his worst season since 2008. And I mean, I think the Seahawks, they just continue the trend of embarrassing the Jets. Seahawks win and cover. I'm done talking about this game. Let's move on.
Well, what were you going to take, Dave?
No, nothing. Jets suck. Seahawks, hammer.
You say Seahawks? What the fuck?
Yeah, that's on me. Seahawks, but
hey,
sorry, I don't have good quality microphones and audio over here around the felt. So
we did in fact buy you a microphone. It's just
where'd your microphone go, buddy?
It's actually like in my closet, I believe, in my apartment, and I'm not at my.
Oh, wow!
Damn.
I just want to look like the cool guys, with the black headset.
You want to ship it down to me?
Yeah, might as well.
I like your microphone. It sounds very well, Caleb. I don't know.
Yeah, it works. It's good enough.
Well, it's better. Parlay, if you want it.
Parlay Seahawks, Colts, slam it. That's my play of the week. I love it. Unless I lose a lot of money on Thanksgiving, then I'm probably not going to Mega Max Whale play this. But those two together, French kiss.
Yeah, we need a DROCK selection on Thanksgiving. We need you like fucking cooking the Thanksgiving turkey.
I actually like that, bro.
You say you like it, but you better do it, bro. I better not see you at the Giants game on today. There's no Giants game, so there's no in my kingdom. Bro's becoming the Costco guy before our eyes. He's
also if you took DROCK's play last week, double down on it this week. DK scores, okay?
Dude, do one on Thanksgiving. You said you were gonna do a juicy one, and you didn't give us a juicy one. You were flexing on everyone about
money. DK was plus money.
Bro, you were flexing on everybody 2 weeks prior about your Taysom Hill 2 touchdowns one. At least give a juicy. That's what I was saying. Bro, nobody's throwing fat on like a plus 150 bet. You got to fucking give them something with juice so at least they could throw like 10, 20 bucks on it to make a big payout.
All right, I got
that's what I'm saying, bro. And it just be like,
will you take it for $100 if I tell you what I want it to be?
Maybe. I don't know. What is it?
All right, Trey Turner 2+ touchdowns.
Trey Turner?
Stop
for the Phillies, dude?
Trey Tucker, sorry.
Trey Turner.
The shortstop for the Phillies?
Bro, do a funny ass video. Just be in your kitchen, be like, I'm in my kingdom, stuffing the turkey or something.
Yo, that would be funny.
Yeah,
mix it up a little bit.
We can talk logistics later, boys. Let's move on.
He's turning into the big AJ over here, where he's got the same bait. You need to.
I can probably get you a FAU appearance if you want. You want to run out of the field?
Yes, that would be sick.
All right, but moving on. Titans at Commanders.
You just taking my job here, pal? We got the Titans at the Reds. Whoa, cancel me now. We got the Titans at the Commanders. Commanders are 5.5-point favorites in this one. Over under set at 44.5. I went with the Titans, man. I'm backing Will Levis and the boys again. They didn't let me down last week when DROCK was disrespecting them. They got a big win. Levis looked great. The media being the fucking assholes they are, all they show you is that one bad pick he had. But hey, Levis balled out. He was 2 for 80 with the 2 touchdowns, had the one bad pick. Defense looked good at times, really making life hell for Stroud. The O-line I would like to see play better in this matchup. I mean, I was shocked they got the win, giving up 8 sacks, but they did. So I think the Titans keep rolling here, and they get a struggling Commanders team.
Okay, so I'm not confident about this pick. This game scares me a little bit, but I am going Commanders. I am going to back them here. They're trying to avoid losing 4 in a row, and they need to do that. They need to stop the bleeding here. As I mentioned, they're on a bit of a skid, and they have big division games coming up. They need to get this win against a lowly Titans team. You can talk all you want about how good the Titans defense is and whatnot. Their offense isn't good. And the Commanders, they need to show up on defense here and lock it down. Like, the Titans are 2-2 over the last 4. That's a little bit worrying because they're finding some form here. But I think the Commies win by a touchdown here. Jaden Daniels, he's going to find some of that early season form that put him at the forefront of the Offensive Rookie of the Year race. Washington defense, I can't stress it enough, needs to show up here and shut down this Titans team. Will Levis, we know he's mistake prone. Perhaps he throws a couple picks here, makes some mistakes, because, that's what loses Will Levis games is those huge mistakes that he makes. So Brian Robinson also listed as questionable for the Commanders, which is really not beneficial to them, especially because Austin Eckler's also on the shelf, if I do recall.
Yeah, he's going to miss with the concussion, it sounds like.
So Brian Robinson, they need Brian Robinson in this game. However, if Eckler and Robinson miss this game, you got to slam Jaden Daniels over rushing. Are you kidding me? That's going to cash by a mile. But long story short, Commanders spread money line for me.
Yeah, if I had to lean in a direction, I'd probably be signing the school project right now and saying that I'm going to lean the Commanders here.
You signed my school project, dude, not Reagan's.
Yeah, your project, Caleb.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. If I had to take something in this game, I'm gonna lean to the over, and because I'm gonna lean that over because the Commanders are 8-2 with their over/under in their last 10 games, and with the Titans being 5-1 in their last 6, the over is hit in the last 5, in the last 6 games, it's hit in the last 5. So stats show you numbers there. And I'm gonna go with the over in that game. And obviously, like I said, I'm gonna be signing Caleb's project and signing up with the Commanders and them to cover.
Fair enough, dude.
Cool beans. All right, let's move on. The Texans travel to take on the Jaguars. Texans are 5-point favorites in this one. Over under set at 43.5. I was thinking about taking the Jaguars, but I'm like, man, if Mac Jones is playing, I don't want anything to do with it. He's stinky. So I know Lawrence is questionable, but I'm assuming they're going to hold him out because at this point you're 2-9, season's lost. Why even risk it if he's not 100%? So it means it's probably going to be the Mac Jones show, which is a show I don't want to be a part of. So I think the Texans need a win here bad. They've been, not playing the best football as of recently. Been on a very rough stretch. So I think they get a nice bounce back win here. I think they dominate the Jaguars here and win by double digits. So I don't want anything to do with Mac Jones.
Yeah, fair enough, Reagan. That Mac Jones show, that's the type of show that airs on channel like 462 at 2 a.m. in the morning because nobody's watching that, dude. But I actually am going to take the Jags to cover here. I went back and forth on this for a second, but then I thought about the fact that the Texans don't necessarily look dominating. And Doug Peterson's job is hanging on by a thread. I'm still kind of wondering why he didn't lose it last week. I guess it's because he doesn't really have a lot of pieces on his team that, he's missing a lot of guys essentially. But the Jags need to put up some points in this one, and CJ Stroud does not look good under pressure. He doesn't seem to be able to avoid getting sacked. Obviously that O-line for the Texans, Swiss cheese. So maybe Trayvon Walker and co, they get home for a couple sacks, make it tough for CJ Stroud. Even if Lawrence plays, which I don't think he will, I think there's probably like a 15% chance that he plays. I think the Texans get it done on the money line. I think the Jags cover here. The Texans need this win after losing 3 of their last 4. But at the same time, Doug Peterson also needs this win. I don't think he's going to get it. The Jags played the Vikings, Eagles, and Packers close. I think they can play the Texans close. That's why they cover here.
Yep, I'm gonna be signing Reagan School Project for this one.
Man.
I don't want to be watching. I don't want to be watching that shit that Comcast airs at 2 a.m. in the morning with Mac Jones. I don't know. I like the Texans to cover and win here. I hate that 5 points though, man. I talk about this on this podcast all the time. Anything that's not in that range to cover 3 or 7, like just try to buy down as low as possible.
It is a weird spread, I will say that.
I hate that, and that's where most of the underdogs I feel like cover at that 5.5, just because the scores get funky depending on the game. The over/under is pretty damn low as well. So I mean, I'm gonna lean obviously in the direction to have. I'm gonna go Houston. I'd probably buy the +2 and then take that over/under up to 50. Take the under there for a teaser if you can tease this game. It's not something game that I'm going to be watching on my TV as much. I was sick of the Jags in the beginning of the season after ETN got just kind of replaced and a spot taken. So I'm going to go with the Texans in this one to cover and win.
Cool. All right, moving on. We got the Rams taking on the Saints. Rams are 3-point favorites on the road here. Over-under set at 49.5 here. So one of the biggest over-unders on the slate. So expect a lot of points here. But I got the Rams, man. They need a win bad. They're similar to the 49ers. They're kind of slipping out of that playoff picture fast. So they just need the road win bad. And I like their offense a lot. Saints offense still not 100%. And I know they do play better at home, but I think we're going to see more of the Saints that we've been seeing through the middle of the season versus the one we've seen the past 2 weeks. So give me the Rams here, but I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the most confident guy in it, but I will go with the Rams.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Rams. Like you said, a much-needed victory for them. They kind of got embarrassed last week, and I don't think they're going to let it happen again. Puka is a dog, man. Puka is becoming he's one of my favorite players at this point. I just love watching him catch and run. He is a lot to handle for any defense. I think he goes for 110, 120 easily. The Saints defense isn't fantastic. I think Puka goes for 120 receiving. And honestly, I think all the Rams need to do to win this game is keep the Saints rushing game in check, because Derek Carr is a little bit too inconsistent for me. Obviously, they have Alvin Kamara to contend with, so I think if they remove him from contention, that they will be just fine to win and cover here. So I'm taking the Rams to win and cover.
I did just trade Puka away in a fantasy league. Actually, I do like him a lot, but I'm curious your thoughts. I forgot to bring it up before. I got Malik Neighbors
in Dynasty or
redraft. So I'm 5-7, trying to make a playoff push in this league. So I traded away Puka, TJ Hawkinson, and Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor with a week 14 bye, so it's kind of win now type mode. It doesn't matter if I have him if I don't make the playoffs. And then I got back Malik Neighbors, Chase Brown, who's been getting a ridiculous amount of volume, Jamison Williams, and Kyle Pitts. So, while maybe I didn't get the biggest names, I got more of some depth and some guys that are going to be playing now.
Yeah, I like that trade. Yeah, I mean, Malik Neighbors, dude.
He's been bad, but I'm banking on the fact that they'll go to Drew Lock.
Yeah, that's an important thing to bank on. Malik Neighbors, he's been acting like a little bitch after the games. I don't know if you've been seeing it, but like when he does these interviews, bro, he just acts like a little kid, and it's really not a good reflection of the culture that the Giants have. But hey, maybe Drew Lock's going to target him more. Maybe that is a good move there. But yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to take who's school project this time. Nobody's, baby. I'm going with the Red Hot Saints. Two wins in the last 2 weeks. Or I think they had a bye week.
They had a bye, but still 2 in a row.
Don't correct me. 2 in a row. And if you can, DROCK always loves buying up those points. So it's a field goal coverage or a touchdown score. Buy that spread up to 3.5. Sorry, I was going to say an inappropriate word, but I know that we're
no, you can say it.
We're a family-friendly podcast, even though I've sworn.
No, we're not.
We're not. Edit it out later, Dave. You're editing it. Curse. We got it to 106.
I'm not editing in this podcast.
What are you going to say? Well, all right, I will just assume. Were you going to say BITCH?
Possibly.
What does that spell, kids?
What are you going to say?
Yeah, no reasoning here behind why I had the Saints winning, all besides them winning the last 2 weeks and they're red hot, scorching hot, but buy up to 3.5. I'm gonna take the Saints to win and obviously cover here. That over under total 49.5 is pretty high, but I think they both be slanging that thing. So I would take the over here, but I got Saints winning to cover.
Yeah, I mean, it's another coin flip game. Like, I don't know, man. I'm trying to be confident in the Rams for their sake, but I really can't be fully confident in them, honestly. Definitely not one of my most confident takes.
All right, let's move on. We got the Bucks taking on the Panthers. Bucks are 6-point favorites on the road. Over under set at 46.5. And I'm going to take the Panthers, man. I love what I've been seeing from Bryce Young, man. He seems to be like he's finally taking that next step, putting some good games together. The offense seems a little more competent. He's got a nice swagger to him. And, the Bucks at the end of the day, you beat the Giants. Big whoop. But, they hung with the freaking Kansas City Chiefs last week. It came down to the wire. I think the Panthers keep rolling here. I don't care if it's on the road. I'm sorry. Is it on the road? No. Oh, it's at home. I like it even more. So giving me 6 points at home against a team that just, basically went to overtime with the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champs. All right. I'll take it. Panthers money line. Slam it. Actually, nuclear whale play.
Nuclear whale play. Can't
That
say I
whale's
agree
getting
with you there. I'm going to take the Panthers to cover the 6 here, but I'm going to take the Bucks to win. I did like what I saw from the Bucks last week against the Giants. They took care of business where they needed to. But I mean, you do have to give the Panthers some respect. I don't know why the books aren't giving them a little bit more respect here after that performance they put up against the Chiefs. Bryce Young, it's about time, man. He's finally showing some flashes. I just don't trust his consistency yet. So for that reason, I'm taking the Panthers to cover, Bucks to win by a field goal, perhaps.
Oh man, watching the Bucks just shit on my Giants. It doesn't say much there, so I'm not gonna say that they're such a great team for putting up 30 on the New York Giants. But Panthers to get 6 points. Oh man, I would buy up to 7 if you could, but I'm leaning more on Tampa Bay cover and obviously win in this matchup here. Panthers haven't been solid all season long, and I'm sick and tired of Reagan taking the Panthers on his end on everything he does. So just to fade Reagan in his use of profanity, I'm gonna go with the Bucks at -6 and to win.
What'd I say?
I don't know what you said.
Yeah, me neither. I have no idea.
That's all right. I know you're not going to edit it out, so it doesn't matter. The real ones know. All right.
Now I'm going to edit it out. So for those who are listening, yes, Reagan uses cuss words, and I don't want to include in this podcast. So
I just repeated what you said.
Rock's taking the moral high ground here.
Moral high ground. I respect him.
I just don't need my mother listening to this podcast and hearing this. So
Miss Kurzrock, I apologize if you're hearing this. What I will say
she's not going to hear it, dude. He's editing it out.
Yeah, at this part, I didn't say anything bad, Miss Kurzrock. I can't wait for you to be rocking a crew neck. One of these days, we're gonna get you in one of those. And if you were offended by it, just send me a text. Let me know you didn't like what I said, and we'll get you a crew neck on the house. All right, let's move on. What a pod. Silly, goofy mood. Eagles will be taking on the Ravens. Ravens 2.5-point favorites at home here. Really getting that hook with the home field advantage. Over under set at 50.5. So a massive over under here. But I'm taking the red hot, the piss hot Philadelphia Eagles here. I like the way their offense is playing, utilizing the run, not making Jalen Hurts do too much as a passer, utilizing his legs. I think that's the recipe to win. I know last week I think they had about 22 pass attempts to 46 carries. So, if you can almost double up your runs to passes, I think it'll be a huge recipe for them. Hurts did end up having 10 carries. So I like that they're using him more and more as a runner, letting him, use that because it's one of his biggest skill sets. So I like the way that's playing. Plus their defense has been on fire. I think they're going to limit Lamar and that kind of Derrick Henry 1-2 punch here. And I'm rolling with the Eagles, man. What do you boys got?
Yeah, I'm in agreement here. Eagles win and cover. So those who invested in Jalen Hurts in fantasy, like myself, it didn't pan out exactly as you would hope. And moving forward, you're going to have to consider the fact that Saquon's now on the team, and that's a force that you can rely on. It's going to take some of the fantasy production away from Jalen Hurts, in my opinion. So you may not want to take Jalen Hurts as high in a draft as I did. I didn't take him terribly high, but I did draft a quarterback before some in my league. And yeah, I mean, Saquon, man, I was sitting at a bar. There were two Giants fans next to me watching the Eagles game this past week, and it was just head in their hands. You know what I'm saying? Watching
What a
Saquon,
bunch of
they're
babies, bro. Like, grow
they're
the
like
fuck up.
255, bro. 255 rushing yards for Saquon Barkley. I mean, he looks the best. He feels the best that he ever has in his career. And he's a direct catalyst for the success the Eagles are having. The Ravens have lost to a couple teams that they shouldn't have lost to, in my opinion, like the Browns and the Raiders early this season. The Ravens are I think they're just on the precipice of being a great team. I think the only thing that's holding them back is their pass defense, obviously worst in the league. I think that Jalen Hurts, on the opposite of what you said, Reagan, I think Jalen Hurts could go to the air here and take advantage of that shoddy pass defense that the Ravens have. So I think the Eagles win and cover here. And I just want to talk about Lamar, man. Lamar is such a good football player. He's now chasing down his third MVP here. He's already over 3,000 yards passing again. I mean, do you guys think he has a legitimate shot at the MVP again?
I mean, he has a legit shot. I don't think he'll get it just because of voter fatigue. I think that's a real thing where if it's
Voter
between him and another.
fatigue.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
see what
just,
you're saying, Reagan. I completely agree with you.
yeah, I think if it just is like close between him and another guy and the other guy's not won it before, they're just going to go with him. Like, the way Josh Allen's playing right now, if it comes down to those two as like the top two teams in the AFC, numbers are pretty similar. They're going to go with Josh Allen, the guy who hasn't won it before, just to, mix it up and stuff. So, it's kind of like in baseball and stuff. Like, I feel like they're always looking for different guys. Like they don't want to give it to Judge and Ohtani every year, but at a certain point they have to if the numbers don't match. Like I think if Bobby Witt's numbers were closer to Aaron Judge's this year, they would have given it to him. But Judge obviously is just so far ahead.
Completely agree with that. And I think that's how all leagues play it out as well. They don't want to have the same guy continue to roll in and roll it over again. I mean, also, like, let's say the Ravens had like a Chiefs record right now as well. I mean, I know they're 8-4 still. It's still solid, but I'd still say that like there's a lot of voter fatigue within that play there. And also, I have a Josh Allen MVP future, so I like Josh Allen right now, and we're sitting pretty.
Unbiased.
Yeah, you should just become a Bills fan at this point, brother. You don't even have to change your color and schemes.
I'm a Giant for life, my friend. I'm a Giant for life.
Name one player.
Oh, shit, that's a tough one. Saquon Barkley. Speaking of Saquon Barkley, I'm rocking with the Eagles. Take their money line at plus 140. Slam it. I hate watching him play, but goddamn, do I love betting on him. He's been a money machine this year. Take his yards, everything that there is to do with Saquon. Rushing, receiving, all that whole 9 yards. Him to score the first touchdown. Him to score anytime. It sucks to watch him play and to see what he – but he wouldn't even been putting up the same numbers as he is right now with the line that we currently have. So
yes, he would. You guys, the Giants are the best.
Okay. All right.
Destroyed.
I do respect you though. And I will say, it takes a true man to come out and say that. A lot of Giants fans are like bitching and moaning about it, and I respect that you're able to admit it. And you've come a long way. I remember in the beginning of the year there was a couple DROCK locks fading.
I just don't like how the media right now is being like, oh my gosh, like the Giants gave up Saquon Barkley, like what idiots and shit like that. I'm like, he wouldn't be putting up like half of the numbers that he's putting up right now with the Eagles. I mean, and also the Eagles have just playing phenomenal both ways. So like, also again too, like I keep saying, he doesn't have the line with the Giants. He doesn't have a goddamn quarterback. He'd be switching between DeVito right now. And I mean, like, I don't know, like he just wouldn't be.
Well, we are the media at the end of the day. We're part of that. So you're doing your part to change the narrative and speaking this talk. Because we are part of the media. We are, whether you guys like it or not.
Yeah. it's a little frustrating to see those comments being thrown around all over the media just because, like I said, like I feel like I'm a realist here when speaking about Saquon. I don't think he would have been putting up maybe possibly even half the numbers that he's been doing it with the Eagles. So hats off to him. I love gambling and betting on him. It only took me like a couple games to realize that he's a moneymaker, and I just can't fade him the entire season. So I'm going to take this in this matchup. I'm going to rock with the Red Hot Eagles, their money line. And that over-under total is pretty damn high. I think that Vegas is looking at this like the public, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, Eagles-Ravens! This is going to be such a high-scoring game." Both defenses are relatively good, but I'm going to ride the under in this one. I don't like that 50 number, so yeah.
Wow. All right. Let's move on. Sunday Night Football between the Bills and the 49ers. 49ers 7-point underdogs over under 44.5. I'm going Niners here, man. I do not care. They just got to get it done here. They all get paid to play football, so that's my biggest point here now. But jokes aside, Niners are a very talented team here. They need it more. I think, similar to what we saw with the Cardinals last week, I think it almost hurt them having the bye week, and I think it might hurt Buffalo because they've been riding on a hot streak here. So I think them, having a week off almost might hurt them. And I think the Niners get it done here. It's going to be close, but I think the defense finally steps up.
Yeah, no, I'm backing the Bills here. I think this is where the 49ers crash out in their season. I think the Bills are just too tall of a task for them to overcome. We haven't been seeing the desirable form from guys like McCaffrey on the 49ers to give me any confidence in them right now. However, we have been seeing all the form from the Bills. Honestly, in my opinion, the Bills are looking like the second or third best team in football, leaning closer to second. But yeah, I mean, the Niners, they got embarrassed by the Packers. The Packers aren't anywhere close to the Bills level, in my opinion. I think the Bills win here easily and cover easily. And they are at home, correct? Yes, they are at home. That gives me even more confidence in the Bills here. I think the 49ers season is over after this game.
Yep. Caleb, put me on that school project because I agree with everything that you said. As an unbiased Josh Allen fan, although he's in all of my fantasy leagues because I take him in the second round every single year. I'm rocking with the Bills here. That 7 points is pretty high. By just a half a point, if you are looking to take the Bills, take it at 6.5. I think the Bills absolutely crush the Niners here. I agree with you on this one, Caleb. I think that the Niners are completely shut down after the Bills do win by obviously a touchdown here. That 44 under the 44.5 is also a little interesting to me why that line is relatively low for the over under here. I don't know, just because it's a 7-point spread. Is that why you think it is at 44.5? I don't know.
I think that is because I don't think that the Niners are going to show up on offense. I think it's going to be all on the Bills to put up the points here. I think that's why that spread is like that. So, yeah, I mean, I could see this being like a 30-10 game, dude, for the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
I have no confidence in the 49ers at all. But, I mean, by all means, we'll see if I eat my words.
You will be eating words. And a lot of
I don't think so, dude. Reagan,
No, I don't think so.
Reagan, so here's the punishment. If the Niners win this game, dude, I'll eat a thing of SpaghettiOs so I can literally eat my words. How about that?
We actually do need to think of a punishment. I'd love to think of one for you two to do, just because I'm in plenty of these punishments. It'd be cool to mix it up a little bit. I mean,
yeah, we'll think of it off pod, but you don't want to pick the game, Caleb, and then we can just like play it out by
Yeah, we can make a post about it, but we got one more game, boys. Let's close it out.
12 donuts, dozen donuts. Who says no?
Oh man,
that sounds retarded, dude.
You're trying to pork me up, Reagan. I was eating stuff.
All right, fine. Dozen beers. Who says no?
Dozen beers.
Drink alcohol.
That's light work, bro.
All right, we'll think of it. Let's hop to this next game. It was the last game of the night. I'll bring us in for this one. All right, gentlemen. Okay. Browns Broncos in Denver. Denver is a 5-point favorite in this matchup here with the total over under total going at 41.5. That's extremely low here. The Broncos did much to the Falcons 2 weeks ago at home. I'm going to stick with them at home here. And I'm also going to take them, obviously, to cover. I hate that 5 points as a spread. I don't know what you can do with it. It's right in the middle. They're not even giving you a half a point in this. But I don't know. Browns suck. Like, I can't stand them. And I'm just going to rock with the home team here in Denver. Slam it. On to the next.
Yeah, so I'm actually, for a change, I'm going to sign my name on your school project, Drock. So here's
Boom!
the
We
thing.
bring the boom!
Let's ride, bro. Broncos
ride.
country. Are you kidding me?
Yes, sir.
The Broncos are going to win and cover. Ever since I took the Broncos to beat the Falcons, I mean, I watched that game intently, and the Broncos are just impressive at this point. Like, Bo Nix is doing his best Anakin Skywalker impression as the chosen one, and he might just steal the offensive rookie of the year in the end of the day here from Jaden Daniels. Bo Nix, he threw 273 yards, 2 touchdowns last game against an 11th ranked Raiders defense. He's showing great chemistry with Cortland Sutton. Those of you who have him on your fantasy are definitely happy right now. And I think the Broncos win easily here. The Browns, that was just a classic little trap game that they won against the Steelers. Terrible weather. I think that the Broncos handle business here. Like, for the Browns, there's not really a whole lot to say. Like, Jameis Winston's just going out and having fun. Yeah, so if he has fun on his way to victory, sure, but I'm not going to buy into that. Broncos win and cover.
Reagan, that entire time we were talking, I knew this was happening.
I'm taking the Browns to cover. I love what I saw from them last week. Defense is playing better. Offense is playing better. The Jerry Jeudy revenge game. Hey, he's going to be playing all out. Jameis, yeah, you're saying he's playing to have fun, but he's also playing to have a job next year. So these games are very important if he wants to be the starter in the league next year. So I got the Browns here, man. I think they squeak it out. I think the Broncos, this is kind of a look-ahead game. They're finally getting some wins, putting them together. They're 7-5 here. But guess what? They got the Colts after that, then the Chargers and the Bengals and the Chiefs. So they got 4 tough games after this where, on their calendars, they're circling this as a win. So I think for a young football team, they're going to really overlook the Browns here and, really put up a dud at home here. And the Browns will get it done. And unfortunately, you two clowns will be wrong.
Yeah. Here's the thing, dude. I don't think they're going to overlook any of these games here. I don't think the Broncos expected to be in this position. They're not taking anything for granted. They're going to come out all cylinders firing against the Browns, and they're going to handle it and get it done. Also looking at the total points spread here, gentlemen, and it's set at 42 on
the over-under, yeah.
On Hard Rock, which is, by the way, the only legal betting app in Florida. So I don't know. What do we like here? Do we like over or under 42? I'm leaning under. I think this might be defense heavy.
Under.
Yeah, tease the shit out of it. I hate that freaking 41.5, but I would go under here.
So anyway, that brings us to the end of our games here for NFL Week 13. I had a great time on this podcast with these gentlemen. We worked on some school projects together. We had a great time. But yeah, you got to go grab yourself a crew neck. I can't express it enough. It's crucial for your comfy, cozy needs. And yeah, so keep an eye out for Around the Bases as well. We're going to be posting some content there. If you haven't seen the National League recap, definitely go check that out. The AL recap, that's coming real soon, probably later this week. But do either of you gentlemen have any more words to share for our lovely viewers?
No, man. I mean, you said it best. Just get those crew necks. I mean, like and subscribe. And obviously, if for those of you that are baseball fans, give the Around the Bases a follow on IG. UFC fans, Around the Octagon. So, hey, maybe you're listening to this and you're like, I'm a basketball fan, or I'm a hockey fan, or some of those other sports. Hey, hit us up. We're looking for people to, start up other sports. So we're continuing to try to grow this. So you guys listening, you guys supporting us, it only helps us grow more. And yeah, look out for the punishment. Caleb and Dave, we're going to settle it off air, but at least it'll be some new faces getting punished. So that'll be, refreshing for me at the very least.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I don't know if my gut or ass can handle it after the hot sauce either.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
All right. Peace, everybody.